The first invoices for Avengers Doomsday are coming out. Look, it's costing 3 times as much as a very important movie that Marvel has already released and didn't do well. Then it's content video. Hold on. Hello, Pop Culture Society. We're back. Let's talk about Avengers Doomsday. It's the Doomsday Diary once again. There's this article here that I'm going to discuss with you about the account. The bill is starting to arrive. The production of Vingadores Doomsday Avengers Doomsday is starting to send out the bills. For tax matters, for accountability purposes, we already have access to some of the production's expenses up to this point. After 3 months of production already counted. Filming started less than a month ago, but production already had its expenses. Building sets, setting up the scene, all those things. And so far, things are not cheap at all. Up to this point, the production of Avengers Doomsday has already spent $8 million. $8 million. That's just to give you an idea. That's 3 times what Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania spent in the same period in just a few months. So we can make a projection for the future because Quantumania cost almost $300 million. $300 million. If you multiply that by 5, it's going to be expensive. The risk will be huge. The bet will be high, with Vin Fago putting all his chips on it. Why is it costing so much? It's not hard to say. Why is it costing so much? It's an ambitious movie. It's a movie that's going to bring a huge cast. It's not going to be cheap. Many actors may have even started out cheap, but they're already getting paid. Millions of dollars to be there. Robert Downey Jr., for example, it's rumored that he was offered $50 million just to show up. With the Oscar in his hand, right? The guy able to negotiate while the company was going down the drain. Save our souls, Robert Downey Jr. So the bill is going to be expensive? And look, I'm making a comparison here. Here with the least man, Publicio, also comparing it with the Ant-Man movie. You're going to compare Avengers with Ant-Man? Are you kidding me? You're trying to create hate over Cavino's or Bonet's expenses. No.
Why not?
Because Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, was also an ambitious movie. Let's remember that it wasn't just the end of the Ant-Man trilogy. It was also the introduction of King the Conqueror. It was a movie that required a lot of special effects. Almost the entire movie takes place in the quantum realm. This movie was changed several times. There were a lot of reshoots. They rewrote the script several times and they changed the ending. And it's no wonder it cost almost $300 million because of that. Plus the marketing, plus everything else that was needed. It was supposed to be Kang's debut, which went all wrong, as we know. It created a chain reaction of disbelief so that no other Marvel movie after that managed to get out of this vacuum of failure, opened by how much Mania failed, except for the Guardians and Galaxy of the Three-Man, which was already a movie delayed since the pandemic, with that firing of James Gunn and his return to finish the movie. Other than that, man, the Marvels, Captain America, Devil of the New World, even Thunderbolts also had numbers below Marvel's historical average. For a better comparison, let's compare with Infinity War and Endgame. It is speculated that Infinity War and Endgame cost between $800 million and $1 billion. The two movies cost $1 billion. $1 billion is a lot of money. That's what Infinity War and Endgame cost, which were also movies with high risks, high expectations, and also had a huge cast. It was Marvel's finale. It didn't even need to perform, but it performed very well. If you add up all the box office revenue, it more than covers that amount, and that's not even counting merchandising and licensing sales, which actually triple that value. But it's now speculated that Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to burn through $2 billion. $2 billion. So those $8 million they've spent so far was just on a cup of coffee. was just on a cup of coffee, an afternoon snack. Studio rent, 8 million. I think that's little for a movie that by the end of its production will cost $2 billion when the salaries come out, when the big special effects bills come out, having to hire the studios and all, doing all the post-production, not to mention marketing and promotion. 2 billion, it's going to have to make more than 2 billion too, both of them, right? Which isn't something impossible for Marvel. They've even made more than that before. But it's going to be accounting that's right on the edge, right on the razor's edge. It's going to run on a bizarre edge. It's bizarre to invest 2 billion in movies. Let's see how it turns out. People are saying, oh, it's going to cost this much. It's going to have to make that much. But nobody cares about the quality of the movie, right? The quality of the movie comes second. People are thinking more about the results than about the quality of the movie. Yeah, Thunderbolts, for example, was well received by the public, well received by critics. It didn't do well at the box office. It had an average box office, maybe a little above what was expected. It's not a big success. It's not a big phenomenon, but it's a movie that has its quality. The thing is, lately box office numbers have kind of turned into a gamification of movies, right? Nerds love statistics. Nerds love comparing numbers. So this whole story about box office, rooting for the box office, it's all part of that. It's a little game. It's the nerd bet. It's the nerd bet. You make a nerd bet. How much do you think this movie will make? And that movie, which one will win? Which one will have the biggest box office? It's a way to gamify the fun beyond just the story of the movie. And the movie experience. I don't see anything wrong with comparing numbers here, statistics, us studying how many movies won, how much was invested, how much was made back. That's cool too. It's part of the fun we have here on the channel. It's part of our conversation. In fact, every week there's a video about box office here, but 3 times more than what Manning did. Will that go up or down? Do you think they'll hold back a little, tighten the faucet a bit? Marvel's idea is to give... The idea is to cut back on spending to save some money, but I don't think anyone will want Marvel to be stingy with Avengers. They're going to invest a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 movies end up costing $1 billion. They're going to be filmed almost back to back. Marvel hasn't even announced new movies. They're just focused on Doomsday and Secret Wars. Only after Comic-Con will we have an idea after Fantastic Four of what's coming next. But I want to know from you, what do you think? Is it justified for Avengers to cost 3 times what the first Iron Man movie did? How much do you think it'll end up costing in the end, huh? Do you think there will be a lot of reshoots? The guys aren't even writing the script yet, so maybe new ideas will come up and they'll have to film again. That's why they're already expecting $2 billion just to be able to have money to spend. $2 billion. Not even Zack Snyder can spend $2 billion. Just kidding, he can. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back soon with more topics from Dr. Pop, and after the intro, some channel options will appear for you to click and stay with me a little longer. See you later. See you soon. See you in a bit. Bye. Thank you.